still got $100 million, and then he never touched this shit.
That's to the tax man.
You right. I'm the IRS, and I'm gonna tax your.
He's in a tracksuit. He can't even afford a shoe anymore.
All right, Ali Frazier, by the way, this is not. But I just like an Irish guy there just saying, you're not yet good. Anyway, Floyd Money Mayweather, and we got Conor McGregor continuing their promotional tour for this big fight in August. That could break all sorts of records. That's at least what they're telling us. New reports that Mayweather needs this fight to pay back some taxes, hard as that is to believe. So with Gen Hex, I just wanted to get their sense of how that can happen, that sort of thing. My audio wingman is here. Dion Baia. We got the Wall Street Journal's Jillian Melchior. We've got entrepreneur and author Michael Paris Judell, Bold.global founder Carrie Sheffield. All right, so Michael, how do you, in the case of a boxer like Mayweather, one of the richest in the sport, get to the point you can't pay your tax?
Well, here's the thing. A big payday does not mean that that money is going to stick around. If you have abundance without responsibility, it's always bad news. If we're looking at a person, a business, you have to couple it together. And so you see a lot of celebrities, a lot of people actually in the reality TV world get all this money. They lose the money because they don't know how to manage it.
Right?
Exactly. Only 17 states in this country require you to take a personal finance class. That is a crime. 17 states.
It's not only the taking, it's the testing and accountability around personal finance and economics as well. Like, you're required to learn how to cut open a frog, but not how to balance a checkbook. That's just wrong. The other problem is we have the celebrity culture.
It'd be great if you could just cut open a checkbook. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. But it's the celebrity culture, too. Like, these people have no real skills. I mean, they're running around in their knickers, swatting each other. That's basically what it is. Football is like men in tight pants throwing a dead pig at each other. Like, these aren't real skills.
Well, you get a lot of money, but I subscribe to the belief that, no matter how much you make, if you spend more than you make, you're going to have some trouble.
Yeah, so I kind of nerd out on the tax lien thing, and you'd be surprised at how many celebrities or people of prominence don't pay their taxes.
Right.
We did a report a couple years ago where we found that a ton of MSNBC hosts who are constantly calling for higher taxes hadn't paid their taxes.
Their fair share.
Yeah, their fair share. They didn't do it. But I think there is kind of a thing where you get to a position of prominence and you feel like you're special, like the rules don't apply to you. And what's unfortunate is he can afford to hire a lawyer. I think American middle class is getting slammed with taxes. Yeah. They can't afford it.
What was his argument? He says he's not a liquid, right?
But they don't really surround themselves with people who are like, maybe you should invest in an IRA. I mean, they're spending money with their friends, and a lot of the people,
they're probably afraid they're going to get hit.
And then it's hard for them to, if you get a big payout, what are you going to do? You want to spend it. It's a lot of
positioning, but there's other people, there's other athletes that do it right. There's someone who played in the Detroit Lions, Ryan Broyles. He was making millions of dollars a year. He committed to spending $60,000 a year. He was spending $5,000 a month.
Oh, I remember. And you know, was it that Larry Holmes, when he was boxing, and Sugar Ray Leonard, they invested. They were very good with it.
Yeah, but I think that's more of an oddity as the.
No, you're right.
If Warren Buffett can eat a hamburger and live in the same house and drive a station wagon, like, anybody can do it.
Yeah, what's left out is Warren has lots of other houses. All right, the Emmy nominations, you guys have probably heard, are out. Turns out that the chosen celebrities who slammed President Trump, well, they're cleaning up. So, Jillian, I'm looking at that and I'm saying, well, wait a minute, there's got to be a theme here, because last year Colbert didn't get any nominations. This year he's prominent. And Jimmy Fallon, famous for messing up Donald Trump's hair, nothing this year.
Well, that's true. I think that Hollywood is obviously anti-Trump, and this year we've seen some real issues.
Do you think there's a connection between the nominations and that?
I would suspect likely. That's definitely their political bent. But I do think, while we can say that some of this has been in poor taste, I will defend the right to political satire until I die.
Absolutely.
I think it's one of the signs of a free democracy.
I think there's a big...
It's really important.
Otherwise,
and if you want to nominate them...
If you do, Gasparino will write your obituary.
Happily.
I feel like there's a big segment of the population who doesn't like Trump, and they go seek out people who are going to satirize him. And a lot of these shows that weren't doing so well, like SNL, now have huge ratings because people want to see them lambast a guy like Trump.
But it is interesting that the ratings notwithstanding, that is the only differentiator I see.
Well, I mean, maybe
between nominations.
Yeah, maybe he just didn't do a lot of new stuff this year, right? It's not hard to satirize Trump. I mean, we think we can all admit that...
It is hard to satirize Trump.
It's really hard. Well, I mean, I guess it depends on how on the nose you want to go.
This isn't good, Michael. Just listening to Michael Paris Judell. Can't believe what he said, Sam.
A lot of them have crossed over into the vulgar, and I would love to see, I mean, it's a moot point now, but I would love to see people like a Johnny Carson or even like an Ed Sullivan see what their benefactors are doing now, where they're making like oral sex jokes right on TV.
But you know,
about
Johnny
it, you know?
Carson
No,
zinged
but,
everybody.
And what about,
Remember
okay, here's the hypocrisy.
But there's a line, I think.
Absolutely.
Colbert made a homophobic slur, and he's the one getting the award. Like, where is the social justice in
So
that?
you draw a
Where
connection
is-
with that this isn't coincidental that these are the nominations. I mean,
Well,
they're
the
all
more,
very fun.
the more intolerant you can be, even though you are the tolerance police,
in this
the more you
culture.
will be heaped upon by awards, by people who are totally clueless about how the rest of the country lives. That's what this is about. This is not really about diversity. This is about who can be the most verbose and angry and bellicose about the president without really understanding or caring that there's a whole other part of the country.
But let me just remind you, Lena Dunham also did not get nominated. And she is the poster child of the young liberal millennial.
You
So
might
I don't
be
think
right.
it was a political move. I think it was...
That's another hypocrisy.
As she should. By the way, there's a new study out that shows that drivers spend an average of 17 hours a year looking for parking spaces. Dion, that does not surprise me.
I've been living in the immediate New York City area for like 14 years, and that is my favorite pastime, is looking for a parking spot.
There's an app for that.
In the morning, I start my day looking for a parking spot. I end my day with looking for a parking spot. And now I pay to have a spot underneath my building, which I had to wait on a 5-year list. It's a tandem spot. And it's amazing that it's like sharks. All you do, and I think you see that satirized for people.
But that's a lot of time.
A lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of pollution. And while I think cities should work with businesses to try to come up with solutions, like I think Somerville, Massachusetts, working with Audi to come up with some solutions, this problem isn't going to be around for too long because we're going to have self-driving cars. They're also going to be self-parking.
There's apps now,
coming.
too.
You know,
There's an app that'll say, like, but I don't know how the app knows there's a free spot between.
They've got to work with the cities, and the cities are not great.
That's why, because everything will be surveilled and
You're
Rand
very
Paul,
jaded.
I am.
What the heck?
You know what I want to know is how many hours in de Blasio's New York I'm waiting on the subway platform.
Ooh, that's true.
I'll go with you on
Everything
that.
is back to...
Or how many times I've
actually-
almost gotten killed crossing an intersection at a red light when a bike goes by.
Well, there is that. There is that.
Malatakis, who is running as a Republican in New York against de Blasio,
Right.
she's going to fix that. So
I like that. All right, now we're only halfway through July, right? And the back-to-school season is already on. In fact, the ads are everywhere. I don't get it. Do you guys? I mean,
I don't
I get
have a
it.
problem with capitalism. They're being
Okay.
capitalist. Why are you being
but
about
they're
that?
going-
I thought you're pro-capitalist.
It's
Neil.
like-
but I mean, come on.
But it's like
just
the day
started.
after-
The kids just got out of clothes.
It's like the day after Halloween. They're already running Christmas. Like Thanksgiving, I think, is going to be
If
deemed
they
like a
wait that
racist
long.
holiday in a couple years. And you've already have Christmas music on like November the 1st because they're waiting for Christmas.
We have to remember that not all school districts start at the same time.
You're
In
right.
Georgia, they're starting July 31st.
Yeah.
They're really,
Is that right?
That's absolutely true. In some
well,
counties,
okay,
they're
then that's
starting that
fine.
early. I think retailers are starting to freak out. They're seeing things like the Amazon and the Whole Foods acquisition. They're seeing Walmart getting bonobos. They're saying,
Wait a minute.
we need a piece
I'm
of
getting
this.
a memo here from the upstairs office. You are aware, Neil, that these ads are running on your show.
We love them. We love them, of course. Join the table.
But it doesn't bother any of you
Summer,
guys.
I think it's really
I do.
annoying.
I
It
do.
makes
No.
it hard to enjoy summer when you've got school just around the
Yeah,
corner.
I want
And
to enjoy my holiday without it being taken apart by some other holiday.
No, but
that's
this is the
trampling it.
psychology of urgency. So it's the same thing. If you go down Fifth Avenue, they're already advertising parkas. Like, I'm wearing flip-flops and shorts. I should be able to enjoy it.
But it's not a left-right thing to you, not this.
I can make it that way.
and I will say savings
Because
is a big piece of it. That's what people want, is that people are hungry to save. We did a huge millennial consumer survey, found that savings is really the key piece of it. Millennials want savings, and that's with both sides of the generation.
And parents celebrate their
But you
kids
can't go
doing
get
that.
an air conditioner right now.
No,
because everybody
Parkas are on sale. All right, guys.
Liberals want school year to
Liberals
be,
want
they want school year
exactly.
year round.
I knew you would
I'm
pull that
sorry.
off.
Make us all smarter.
All right, apparently I have to talk to our advertiser director.